Dear students, today we discuss the topic determinations of socioeconomic status and its implications. The outlines of my topics are definitions of socioeconomic status, what are the need of socioeconomic status, what are the major factors affecting the socioeconomic status, various methods used to determine it, like major methods like modified Kuppuswamy scales, modified Prasad scales, Parik and Kulasistus classification, standards of living index, etc. And what to use, which type of socioeconomic status, where to use the in urban area, what to use in rural area, what to use. We have to discuss details, and what are the questions asked on socioeconomic status in your examinations. We have to discuss. Okay. So, what is socioeconomic status? Coming to the definitions of socioeconomic status, it is defined as the position that an individual or family occupies with reference to the prevailing average standards of cultural and material positions, income, and participations in the group activity of the community. So, it is basically a standards to know the social position in the society. It is an important determinant of health, morbidity, and mortality of the family. How? Because if the persons belong to low socioeconomic status, then more health related problems if the persons belonging to, as compared to persons belonging to high socioeconomic status. So why we need to determine this socioeconomic status in the family? So because we have to have certain objectives of where we need to determine it. First, to know the social class of the family, whether the family belong to low class family or middle class or high class, like that. Okay, so coming to health, we can also know the health status of that can be determined as per the SES, and it also help in your family study, or it is uses in various types of clinical research you are doing. So suppose in a area you have to do some research which the particular peoples belonging to which category and which disease prevalence is more in which category we can know, and it helps to suggest the corrective measures which are socially acceptable and economically feasible for the family. Just an example I am giving here, the socioeconomic status of, this is a study done to know the socioeconomic status of people living with HIV/AIDS in a particular area. So how we represent it? What are the findings of that study? Like what are the educations in that educations, occupations, income? We have to represent like this. Suppose person is illiterate in 24%, primary 27%, high school. Just I am giving examples how to represent that study. Okay, after the result is coming, So let's go to there are major factors affecting the socioeconomic status. So first is our educational status is very important. So among these educational status, how? Because if a person is highly educated, then his socioeconomic status is high, and vice versa. Okay. So some certain terms we have to remember coming to our education status. How we classify it. Okay. So if who we call illiterate, IL means illiterate, who we call it, a persons of above 7 years of age who can neither read nor write with understanding in any one language should be classified as illiterate. Okay. Similarly, opposite, who is called literate, a persons above 7 years who can read or write with understanding in any one language should be classified as literate. Understand? Yeah, okay, good. So coming to who is called literate non-formal. Literate non-formal means persons those above 7 years of age who can read and write with understanding in any one of the language but do not have formal schooling. He doesn't have any schooling activity or doesn't go to school for any education purpose. Then illiterate non-formal. So what does it mean by literate? As I told, more than 7 years of age, more than 7 years of age, can write, can read, and understand at least one language. Okay. So who do we call preschool? For children under 5 years of age, we call it preschool. So for literate with formal schooling, right, the highest education. How we classify these people who are belonging to these educations? How we classify education? Because we have to classify on which standards the particular persons is studying. Okay. Suppose a person is studying high school and or plus 2 or metric or like that. Okay. So we have to classify accordingly and we have to write. So next factor, major factor is occupations, because if the person's occupational status is very high, then it obviously socioeconomic status is very high. So that's why we have to remember here certain terminologies. What are that? What is first professional? Professional means the highest social status for the professions like medical doctor, engineer, or any legal lawyer, advocate. All this come under highest professional, um, that is called professional group in occupations. And what is semi-professional? Semi-professional next to her social status is for employment is college teacher or high school teacher or any administrative responsibility like headmaster, all comes under semi-professional groups. So third is the terminology, that is clerical or shop owner or farmer. That means though persons who have a shop, petty shop, and engaged in small trade and business activity are called, this comes under this group. Okay. Then come to what is skilled worker. Skilled workers means occupations like tailor, carpenter, machinery, washerman, putter, barber, bedi workers, BD workers. Okay, who can do some skilled activity. Okay, then who are unskilled worker? Those are casual workers and are engaged by others by wages. That is laborers comes under unskilled worker. Okay, so coming to the next most important factor, that is income. Okay, income is very important, because if income is high, then obviously socioeconomic strategy like that. Okay, so low income family are just able to meet their immediate needs and are not able to accumulate wealth that could be passed on the future generations, while affluent family with higher and expandable income can keep on good health and wealth. Who we call unemployed adult. More than 18 years of age is adult, neither involved in any job nor a student, is called unemployed adult. Okay. So how is socioeconomic status is measured? As you all know, what is socioeconomic status? That means the position of the family occupies with reference to the prevailing average standards of material positions, income, participation in group activity of the community. Already we discussed the definitions. So in socioeconomic status scale, there are many components like education's component, occupation, income, all this. Okay. So each component has a different level, and we have to give that certain number to that particular uh, group or particular people to assess the socioeconomic status. So various methods used in determining socioeconomic status are mainly three methods we are using: the Kuppuswamy's modified Kuppuswamy scales, BG Prasad scale, and Uday scales. Okay, these are also rare methods, that is Raukar scale, Jalora scale, Purasista scale, Srivastava scale, and Bharadwaj scale. So we will discuss one by one details. Okay, so first come to Kuppuswamy's methods, and this method is used for urban area. Remember it. Okay, I will ask you later. This scale was proposed by Kuppuswamy in India in 1976. It is the most widely used scales. Okay, he prepared a scale based on three variables which contributes to the socio-economic status. These are education of the head of the family, occupation of the head of the family, and income of the family per month. Remember, income of not head of the family. Here, income of family per month is taken. Okay, these three things: education of head of the family, education and occupation of head of the family, and income of whole family per month. Okay, so coming to each component is given a weighted score, and then the total score is summed off, and the individual family can be classified. The level of income is updated on the basis of the consumer price index, CPI index. That is okay. We will discuss later. So coming to the one by one component, like first is educational component. If the person is comes under professionals, or as we discussed previously, then the number given is 7. Then graduate, if graduate or postgraduate, there is 6. Like that, if person is illiterate, we give 1. Primary school certificate 2, middle school certificate 3, high school certificate 4, intermediate or post high school diploma, that is 5, graduate, postgraduate, that is 6, and profession, that is 7. Then comes to occupations. In the occupations, highest there is professional group again. Okay, so that is 7. The total highest score is occupation is 10. Then semi-professional 6, unemployed 1, unskilled worker 2, skilled worker 4, like that. So but coming to family income per month, again this is as per modified income values for January 2007, because as you know, as per inflation rate, the money value is changing day by day. How? Because as we know, here you can see also family income in 1976. If person has more than 2000 rupees, that persons will come under score 12. But now it is 42,000, around 40,000. If a person's income then comes under score 2. That means in the older age, the substance which we get from 2000 rupees, now we get from 42,000. Now the value of that substance become 42,000. Okay, like that. So that is called inflation, money inflation. So as the time goes on, the money inflation also goes on. So as per money inflation, these income values are modified as per CPI value, consumer price index value. These values are going on also. So here, as we discussed, so in 1976, if family income is less than 100, the persons comes under 1. So that value is in the 2017 comes to 2000. Okay, like just highest income of this 1976 comes to lowest income in our 2017. So this is called inflation. That means the price index is increasing day by day. Okay, that means it implies what? That 2000 of 1976 is equal to 13,500 1998, and that is 41,985 in 2017 January. This is due to rise in inflation since 1976. So what is inflation? You should remember it. Okay, I will ask later. So comes to modification of Kuppuswamy's classifications. Okay, so the income variable in the classification is subjected to change with the changes in the inflation. That's why it is called modified Kuppuswamy scale. So sometimes examiner also asks to you questions, what is modified, why it is called modified Kuppuswamy scales? You should answer it, because as per time goes, as per the income variable in the classifications is not constant always, and it is changes as per the inflation value. Okay, the inflation, as per inflation value, the income variable it changes and updated. That's why it is modified accordingly as per the time. So it is called modified Kuppuswamy. I will just give you example how to calculate this modified income values online. Also there is a software, there is a website also, that is called scaleupdate.webly.com. You can go here, just put the value of CPI, and what is CPI? That is consumer price index. IW means that is consumer price index uh, limited worker. That we have to discuss details. Industrial worker, that means CPI IW means consumer price index for industrial worker, that is taken, and it is calculated as per. So this is the website. You just have to go there and you just search the CPI value in below given website. Then you have to put here, like in real time update of Kuppuswamy socioeconomic status scale, you have to just put the value, what? The CPI value, IW, that is consumer price index industrial worker value. So I have putting here the November 2017 value of, that is 288 CPI value in India. So the now it is coming as you see 44,418. Okay, in January it is 42, now it is 44. So as you see how inflation rate is going up. Okay, so this is a real-time update of the Kuppuswamy socioeconomic status scale. The revised scale is given by the Sharma et al. And for further details, the scale and the revision, see the following article. You can also, I will forward you. Okay, you can see in the that is I will upload it in my SlideShare account. You just download it. No need to write. You can understand it clearly. So you can download it and you just read it. I just make the note for your examinations. Okay, how it is updated, and you can see from this below website also. No problem. So then coming to the score calculation, final calculation. If the persons, we have to add all these 3 points. What is education, income, education, occupation, and income. Then adding that, we have total points A plus B plus C. Okay. So what is if the class comes under 26 to 29, that is highest or topmost, that is upper class. If 16 to 25, upper middle class. 11 to 15, that is lower middle class, and below 5, lower class. We have to classify like this, modified Kuppuswamy scales. used in urban area. See the summary. Okay. So what are the limitations of the modified Kuppuswamy skills? Sometimes questions will be asked. Limitations means where we cannot use these particular skills. Okay. So the skills should be updated from time to time to ensure its constant use. So we have to make it update. Otherwise, it is not a good method. Okay. So this will make some hard to do. It takes the occupations and educations of the head of the family into the account. But in Indian society, there will be joint family which will be headed by grandparents who will be illiterate and unemployed. So if we take the head of the family and the grandparent is the head, if head then is illiterate, and if we take that particular illiterate as the society, then the obviously the socioeconomic status becomes low. So in Indian status, it is Indian society there will be mostly joint family. So this is one of the limitations of the family. Okay, for nuclear family it is good, it does not take the family size into the consideration. That means what do we mean by family size? Total number of family members. Okay, so small family size with the same income as any other large family will enjoy updated social mobility. So that means the obviously if the family size is low, then obviously. So coming to Uda Farik's methods, this is a this method is mostly used in rural area. This method takes into consideration of caste, occupations, educations, land holding, social participations, family size, housing, farm power, and material positions. All these factors are taken into account in Udayaparik skills. But in case of modified Kuppuswamy skills, we are taking only three factors, that is education, occupation, and income. You have to remember it. Okay. So in Udayaparik skills, these multiple factors are taken into account for the classification. So and finally all the components is given weighted, some score is given and then added like in modified Kuppuswamy scale. So we will discuss various components like first come to caste, that if patient belongs, sorry, if the persons belong to scheduled caste, that is given the score is 1, and like that if lower caste 2, if artisan caste 3, agriculture caste 4, prestige caste 5, dominant caste 6. So here you have doubt. I know that artisan caste means the caste which belong to mainly fishing activity, and prestige caste means like Brahmin and all these who are doing prestigious work of puja and all these things. And what do you mean a dominant caste? Dominant caste mostly due to the political belonging to leading activity in the work, that is okay. So next component like occupations, if the persons do not doing any occupation 0, laborer 1, and service 6. Then again coming to educations, so if the person is illiterate 0, can read only 1, can read and write 2, primary 3, middle 4, middle school, high school 5, graduate 6, above 7. Then like land, no land 0, less than 1 acre 1, 1 to 5 acre 2, 5 to 10 acre 3, like that 20 and above acre, that is 6. Okay. In social participation, if the person is not participating in any social activity, not any social activity, that is 0, member of one organization, that is 1, member of more than one organization 2, office holder in such organization 3, wider public leader then 4. Okay. Then coming to family members, if the person is single in the family, that score is 1, in joint family 2, if extended family 3, and size up to 5 family, given score is given 2. So any other distribution feature of the family, then 2 score is given. So coming to the housing status, no house 1, kacha 2, mixed house 3, pakka house 4, masan 5. What do you mean by kacha house? The house which is made of kacha material, okay, like chhatta ghara, kudiya ghara, all these things. But pakka house means cemented materials, bricks, bond bricks, etc. So coming to farm power, if the person says no any drought or animals like buffaloes and cow, then 1. What do you mean by drought animal? Drought animals are the animals which are kept in the home for the working activity, like domestic animals in the home. Okay, 1 to 2 drought animal, that is 2, 5 to 6 drought animals, or tractor is present, then score is given 6. Then if material, coming to material positions, if bullock cart is 0 score, cycle 1, mobile phone 4, televisions 5, refrigerator 6. So as for this, we have to add all the scores. Then finally we have to class like this. If more than 43 scores, that is 1. If 33 to 42, 2. 24 to 32, 3 scores. 13 to 20, 23, that is 4 scores. Less than 13 means class 5. Okay. So disadvantage of this particular Udayaparic scales, it is all, it is used in only limited to rural area population. We cannot use in the urban population. Why? Because urban population know any animal husbandry, or know any some, also some have also no land, some have also no such type of animal husbandry, or like the social factors which we discussed back. Okay. So it contains too many components that are difficult to assess. Okay. That's why it is the other disadvantages of in of the population. So coming to our also Prasad's classifications. Prasad's classification also used in rural area, and it is only these classifications is given by BG Prasad. Okay, and here only the income is taken. Okay, per capita income of the family is taken in these classifications. So who what the BG Prasad classifications, the BG means Ballam Nanda Prasad Rao. Scale was first introduced in 1961 and was revised by the author himself in 1968 and 1970. And in this scale, per capita monthly income of an individual is taken. And it is computed as how: per capita monthly income is equal to total monthly income of the family by total members of the family. It is used in rural area. Okay. Which type of income we used in Kuppuswamy, modified Kuppuswamy scales? That is total family income per month. But here we used per capita income. Remember it. Okay. So proposed guidelines for 2015. These are the socio-economic classes as per the only we have to take the per capita income of the family. So so if the total income is 10,000, there are 5 members in the people. What is the per capita income? 2,000. Good. So family belongs to which class? Like this. We have to classify. Okay. So now if we apply BG process updated because income is also modified, so updated as per inflation as we discussed previously. So Prasad's classifications per capita income per month in RS is given here. Here calculated from net also online. You can also calculate, no problem. Just go to the just calculate the CPI value as per CPI, that is consumer price index value, and then put that value and you will get the total income, latest income. You can see here that is 6,574 and above. If per capita income, then the class is 1, social class 1 first, highest class. Okay, then class 2 is like this. Okay. So what are the limitations of this process classification? Because here only income is taken. Okay, so rest factors are not taken. This is one of the limitations, as you know. So as per capita income is the mean value, it does not reflect the actual income of the district because so many incomes are in the family. Like, okay. So now coming to the next, our important method, that is standard of living index, that is SLI. So here certain variables are taken, and also here scoring is given. How? If the source of drinking water is tap water, own tap, then 3, taps shared, 2, hand pump and plus well is present, that score is 1, and if the water is collected from other source, that is score is 0. So coming to the type of house, if pakka 4, if semi pakka 2, is kacha 0. What do you mean by semi pakka house? Semi pakka means a house where the some is pakka material, some is kacha material. So if more amount is pakka, that is called semi pakka. Okay, western wall we can divide. Then what is the source of lighting? If it is electricity, then 2, kerosene 1, others 0. Fuel of cooking, LPG 2, kerosene 1, others 0. Toilet facility, if own flush toilet, first flush type toilet, then score is 4. Own pit toilet 2, shared toilet 2, and no toilet 0. Then ownership of items of, if fan is present, 2. Okay. If radio is present, 2, sewing machines 2, televisions 2, telephone 3, bicycle 2, motorcycle, scooter 3, like that. On the basis of total score of the household, and they are divided in three classes. Okay, as we maximum time we which class family you are belong to, whether low class or medium class or high class. Okay, so low class means if the score is less than 9, only income is taken here. Okay, so if no, not only income, in income only taken in BG Prasad, but in case of standard of living SLI index, all these factors are taken, 6 factors like our source of drinking water, type of house, source of lighting, fuel of cooking, toilet facility, and ownership items. Three criteria as per this classifications. As we know, low means if the score is less than 9, less than equal to 9. If more than 9 to less than equal to 19, that is medium class family. If high class family, if the score is more than 19. So what is poverty line? As you hear in the society, the person belonging to BPL or APL, like that. So what do we mean by poverty line? It is an economic benchmark and poverty threshold used by the government of India to indicate economic disadvantage and to identify the individuals and household in need of government assistance and aid. Suppose if person is belonging to below poverty line, then government will give some more assistance. What are the assistance given to BPL family? As you know, so they have BPL card, so they will get some Indra Awas Yojana, they will get some free medical facilities like other people, all these things. Okay. So according to the budget of 2011 and 12, who are called BPL, below poverty line, if in the rural populations, if the person is belonging to rural area and his income per day is 27 or less, okay, he comes under poverty line. And if it is more than 27, 28 also, that be above poverty line. Okay, and in urban area, if the person's income is less than 33 per day, is poverty line. But as per 2014 budget, in rural area, if the income is 32 per day, in urban area it is 47 per day, then this is called as poverty line. Okay, so you have to just remember it, this updated value. So who is called BPL or who is called APL? This according to income as per. Okay. So what to use which type of skill? This is very important to during our any research purpose or any family study. Okay. So in urban socio-economic skills, these are the rural economic skills. In urban area, modified Kuppuswamy skill, Pulasister skills, Srivatsov skill, Jalota skill. But in rural area, we use Udayaparik skills, modified BG Prasad skill, Radhukar skill, and Sirparkar skill. Other skills also, you just remember the name only. The student skill, that is Bharadwaj skills. Non-Indian socio-economic skills are holding set occupations based skill, Henderson skills, etc. You must remember this final thing, that is in urban area. So final thing to remember is in urban area modified Kuppuswamy skill, in a rural area modified BG process classification, Farik and Kulasisters classification, and in can be used in both the setting, that is standards of living index and BPL or APL classes. Okay, poverty line. So as you all know, there is a urban area. What is rural area? What is urban area? So what is urban area? Which area is called urban area? As you according to the census in 2001, an urban area is one which fulfills the following criteria. All the statutory places. What do we mean by this statutory places? That it may be municipality or corporations, cantonment board or notified town area, all belongs to urban area. Or a place satisfying the following three criteria belongs to urban area, that is minimum population of 5,000, at least 75 of that population is working in the population engaged in non-agricultural works, and a density of population at least 400 per square kilometer is called urban area. So what is rural area? Those area does not belong to urban area, is called rural area. So I will ask you some MCQ also, that is MCQs that is coming in your examinations also. Modified Kuppuswamy scale include all the following socio-economic status except, as I all know, income of the family per month, education of the head of the family, occupation of the head, income of family head. Anyone in the class, please stand up and tell the answer. Okay. D. Good. D. Income of family of the head is not taken in modified Kuppuswamy scale. Rather, income of family per month is taken, but income of per capita income of the family is taken in our which scale? In Prasad scale. Good. So again, next questions. According to Kuppuswamy scales, total score of for upper middle class is, for upper middle class. I am not asking total upper class, upper middle class. Okay, B. Good. So then coming to next question, the socio-economic scale developed for rural setup is, for rural setup which socio-economic scale? Kuppuswamy, no. Parik, Prasad, none of the above. So if two options is there, as you know, Parik and Prasad both are there. So out of these two, if the options there, then you have to tick Parik. Good. Why? Because Parik is more comprehensive and more validated as compared to Prasad scales. Okay. So answer is B. So your in MBA exam, in MBA exam also there should not come what is modified Kuppuswamy scales. You just have to write education, income, occupations and put the value. Okay, you will get 10 marks. These are my references, and thank you for a patience listening, and thank you for your cooperations. For any doubts regarding this any topic, you can mail me to my mail like this. And there are some frequently asked questions you can get from my slides here also. You just read it. Okay, thank you.